Welcome to Impact and Influence, the podcast for real estate business owners and professionals who are ready to make a bigger impact, scale, have greater sustainability, and increase their influence. This series opens the door to the sharpest minds across the industry, including agency owners, advisors, and trusted partners who share real-world insights and lessons learnt. These are short, practical conversations designed to save you time, sharpen your strategy, and help you build a business by design, not by default. If you're responsible for growth, profit, client experience, leadership, recruitment, or retention, this podcast is your go-to for smarter choices and more decisive leadership. It's proudly presented by REGROWTH. We are a coaching and consulting business for the real estate arena. We help you build on capability, connection, and curiosity.
Welcome to Impact and Influence with REGROWTH Consultancy. Today we are joined by Joos Osborne from Joos Productions. Josh, thanks for joining us.
Oh, it's so exciting to be here, Lauren. Thank you.
It's always great to connect with people outside of our industry. I know you have worked with a few real estate agents in your time, but for those that don't know you, can we start with your story, please?
Sure. I'm Josh and I am the founder and director of Joos Productions. We are a communication specialist company, and we really primarily create content for companies to allow them to communicate their value and what they have that is their special sauce to the world. And we really want to make sure that what we do is through the eyes of their audience to really make sure that we engage them and bring incredible value.
I love that. When you go to your website, the first thing you see is communication specialists. So it's not about the video. It's not about the photography. It's about communication specialists. And I thought that was really interesting. And the engagement piece and, you know, the creating the engaging content and communicating that value. Firstly, how do you do that? And why is that so important? Because you're pretty passionate about that. For the time that I've known you, that's been a very clear message in everything that we've done with you. So how and why?
Well, you would know, Lauren, that we have so much demand on our time at the moment that when we're looking for a solution, we're very picky about how we spend our time. And if we're good stewards of our time, then we're looking for something directly. We want a solution. And with the amount of noise on the internet, it's very important that we cut through that noise with value and communication of value. So you can tip any scale if you offer enough value and you communicate it clearly enough. If you wanted to make $1 million deal, then you would have to work out who has $1 million to begin with. And then you simply have to work out what they're going to find valuable enough to be able to keep stacking that value until all of a sudden, we've got some balance. And then if you communicate it really clearly, then you'll be able to tip that balance in your favor to make that deal. So it is incredibly important that we understand the value that we have, but also communicate it, because otherwise we'll end up in the noise like everyone else and we won't cut through and really make a difference.
So for everyone listening, thinking, okay, that sounds great, I get it. But how do I find that value piece? And I suppose for me, like if I said, what are your top tips to anyone who's starting out with video content and going, okay, I want to cut through the noise, what are your top tips for them?
It starts with understanding the value that you bring.
Yep.
Like you're unique and everybody listening is unique. They have a unique story. There is only one of them, and that already is incredibly valuable. There is a way that Lauren does something. There's a way that Josh does something, and it's different, and yet it will be incredibly valuable, or, you know, be that thing that allows people to go, oh, that's my flavor. That's my flavor. I've got this story, and, you know, when I like iced coffees, and yet my wife loves lime flavored milkshakes. And yes, that's a little odd.
No judgment.
No judgment. But the incredible thing is that imagine if your brand was a lime flavored milkshake and it was a really good one, and yet you looked at how many chocolate milkshakes flew out the window, or you looked at the strawberry ones and you went, you know what, I'm just not good enough. I don't have enough value in being a lime milkshake. And so you begin to add chocolate to it. You begin to add strawberry to it. And, you know, these coffee guys over here, they're doing pretty well as well. So you add some coffee to it. Pretty soon you would dilute the very thing that made you valuable. And So I like to start with companies and really work with companies on their unique stories. Quite often we engage with companies when they've sort of plateaued out or they've outgrown their current story, and they're looking to work out how do we communicate who we are and the special thing that we have. So we like to go through and work out who people are and then find that special source of what makes them unique and really highlight and celebrate and hero that uniqueness. And so if you're thinking about a lime flavored milkshake, you may have a small audience, but they'll be very loyal because you cannot find them everywhere. So there's advantages to whatever you are. And so our job is to really help you understand, identify your unique value, and then communicate it clearly.
Yeah, I really like that. And I think that's relevant to real estate agents, right? Because essentially, and I'll get in trouble for saying this from a few people, but we all do the same job. It's finding what we do better or how we deliver a better client experience or what that value piece is for our client, not about us. And can I jump in and say that's my top tip? And it's not about talking about how great we are. It's about, and I love the storytelling piece because it's about telling the story of how we help that client. So sorry for overtaking and giving a top tip out there, Josh, but that's mine to when we're creating that content.
Yeah, it's very important that we know who our audience is and that we realize that there is a person who wants a solution on the other end of this transaction. It's not a transaction. I've worked with many real estate agents helping them identify their story. And, I usually ask people, why did you get into it? And what are you hoping to get out of it? Because I feel like that core driver that drives somebody to achieve in any field is going to leak through and permeate through the whole of the experience. And I had one real estate agent who was a fantastic agent. And he really honestly wanted to make a lot of money. That was why he was in it. He realized that it was a great opportunity to make a lot of money. And so when it came to looking at his brand story and looking at what made him unique, it wasn't going to work to say that we're really about holding your hand through the whole process and we're really about making sure that you get this or that. For him, it was very transactional. And so we had to look at, well, who's going to find this valuable? Because there's people out there that really want to shift things quickly. And we looked at his skill sets. And for him, we came up with the phrase, become our priority. Because for him, because it was a transaction, he was really looking to make it happen. And so he worked incredibly hard. He was, like most agents, they work incredibly hard, but he would work to make sure that transaction was quick. It was painless for the particular vendor and also had great results because that also benefited him. So it's about ensuring that we look at the values for the people that we're working with and understanding what makes you tick, what makes you angry, what makes you frustrated, what makes you excited, and what is sustainable as a experience. Because the worst thing that any brand can do is create an experience online through their online branding or a video or any communication that is congruent with the experience that the actual person experiences when working with them. That's the quickest way to shoot yourself in the foot.
Brand alignment, right?
Brand alignment. It has to be a coherent experience all the way through.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got brand alignment, we've got creating value. So know your value, know your unique selling point, be great at storytelling, and essentially know the problem that you're trying to solve, essentially. Would that be a pretty good summary?
That's a great summary. Okay. I mean, that's as good as ChatGPT would have given us.
Oh, I think that's a compliment.
It's a wonderful compliment.
I'm standing in front of camera for the first time. Give me some practical help here. What are some of the biggest mistakes that you see people make? And what are some of what's your advice when I'm presenting to camera? Well,
depending on how you're doing it, if you're working with a video company, make sure that you're comfortable with the person who is holding the camera. Like, Lauren, you would know this. When you have someone on the other end of the camera who is championing you, who has time, who is patient, it's already an easier experience for something that is really daunting.
Yeah, I
the
agree.
other thing is
who gets you, because like we obviously do a lot of work, and now we know that you will walk into an event, or whether it's recording Kylie and I, whatever it is, and we don't have to give you that brief. We know you get us, and we know that it'll shine our brand and who we are through there. So yeah, sorry for jumping in.
That's all right. Yeah. So make sure tip one would be align yourself with allies who really get you, because if they get you, then they're going to do right by you. And then that builds trust, because you need to trust somebody who is pointing a camera at you, because it is, as I said, very daunting. The second thing is, don't place so much pressure on yourself. It's okay to take time, and the average amount of takes that people take is quite often 4, 5, 6 takes. That's very normal. Most video guys, we've got time. We know that it's going to be a process, and we're here to work with you and encourage you. So just if you reduce the pressure on yourself and take that pressure off your performance, you're actually going to find it a lot easier. I would also say that don't place your identity in the outcome. This is an interesting one, but a lot of people place their worth or their own value on how well the video does. Videos are a tool.
That's an interesting one. Yeah.
Yeah. Videos are a tool, and they're literally designed to communicate something. But if you get it wrong or it doesn't work, guess what? We can do another one. We can go back to the drawing board, try again, and we can get it right. I think a lot of people freeze up because they put so much pressure on, if this video doesn't do well, then I'm unlovable. Well, that's simply not true.
So
it's not true. So take the pressure off.
Don't let perfection get in the way of progress.
Absolutely. And that's a real tough one, especially with video, because the barrier to entry feels like it's going to be a burden. It feels like it's a lot of work to step in front of the camera. So this brings me to my next practical tip, which would be to practice. Get your phone out, put it up there, create a video, have a go when no one's around, and get used to what it's like to present, to get used to the fact that this soulless black circle is looking at me, judging my every move. Get used to it, because then when you're in front of the camera, you will be relaxed, you won't be so concerned, and you'll be able to present more clearly, and you'll be more present. And I think the more present you can become, the better the outcome's going to be.
Would it be fair to say you could over practice in terms of, when I say that, I mean dialogue? So that really fine line between sounding true and authentic in your dialogue and sounding really scripted. Tips for someone who's nervous about forgetting what to say. Probably that's me a lot of the time. I freeze.
Yeah, well, there's two. Yes, look, there's many ways that we can approach a video. One of the ways is to conduct the video in a interview style. Quite often when you presenting to someone else and you engage with someone else's eyes and they're nodding and they're getting involved in your conversation, they'll draw out the authentic energy that comes along with the information that you are excited to bring. So rehearsal is important, but as you said, it's really about that being present and being able to go with the flow and understand that we can do it again. If you don't get it right, we can chop it up. That's the beauty of editing, and we can make it what it needs to be. But have fun. It's an experience. It's good fun. And the more fun you'll have, the better the outcome will be.
So don't overthink it.
Don't overthink it. We've got time. That's the number one thing that I've found, that when I tell people in front of the camera, hey, it's okay, I've got time, this is very normal, and I get them to relax, we start to, the amount of takes goes down because anxiety's gone down, and we begin to get there. And the other thing is that if you're a video guy listening to this, make sure that you engage with the person that's speaking. It's hard work in front of the camera. Make sure that you are drawing it out of them and be excited about what they're saying.
Yeah, that's important. Absolutely. Any other mistakes that you see that you wish people wouldn't do? Because we learn from other people's mistakes, right?
Big mistakes that we make quite regularly, and this goes across any form of industry, is that we create a video because we want to indulge ourselves around something that we have. I'm this, I'm that, I've got this new machine, whatever it may be. We've got to remember that there is someone who is watching this video on the other end of their phone. They want to know what's in it for them. And the more that you can turn your messaging around to being a solution, or how you're going to educate or entertain or any number of things that brings value to your audience, you're going to get a better result. So the number one mistake people make is they don't view their content or don't create their content through the eyes of the viewer. The second thing is that most of the time we pick a white wall or we pick something ghastly to stand in front of and we create a video in front of that. And that's okay. But depth, if we can move away from our background and create some depth between where you're standing and what is behind you, it immediately looks more valuable than should you close that distance. So that's a practical tip. You can, quite often in a room, we're standing bunched up against the wall and it makes the room look bigger. It creates more space, which just feels better when we're watching a video. Third thing would be, and I think most video guys would say this as number one, but the third thing is poor sound. Making sure that you have good sound. The number one reason people will turn off a video is not because of how it looks, but rather how it sounds. If a video sounds bad, then they'll move on to the next video. Now, that's kind of ironic given that we always watch videos now with captions. Kind of ironic, but I would say that making sure you have good sound is important.
I was actually going to ask you as you were saying that, because we have this conversation often of captions. Like, is it important to always have captions on videos? Because I never watch videos with sound on. But I know that's just me, like not everyone's like me. So what's your take on that?
Captions absolutely help performance. It's a given now that as much as it pains me, it's like an artist having to, like put a big billboard across their art. We have found that, and the numbers suggest that absolutely putting captions on things helps your performance. People are sneaking breaks. They're watching your content on a train. They don't want to be assaulted with noise all day. They've got enough of that going on. So they're reading it. So creating captions, and we've got incredibly good at reading fast captions. When it's a one word per line, we keep up. We're getting very good at that. So captions absolutely help. And I would suggest that if you're putting anything out on social media or where you're trying to communicate and, engagement is a big factor in this, then absolutely add captions.
Great. And something else that I'd love to know your opinion on is around music with videos.
Well, this is the beauty of videos. I believe it was Steven Spielberg that said, and I am a big fan of movies. That's partly why I got into this industry. Steven Spielberg said that music informs you of how you should feel when watching a movie. And I feel that that is very true. Why is it that we can be watching something with the sound off and it's, think of a movie or anything like that. And a scary movie isn't scary without sound. It's almost comical at times. But yet when we add that music, it really informs and it engages another sense. I had a moment early in my career filming videos for properties, and we'd filmed a $6 million property on the water, beautiful place at Avoca Beach on the Central Coast. We spent a lot of time creating beautiful imagery, including time lapses and all these wonderful things. We put a music track on it and it just looks sensational. And we got feedback a few weeks later from the agent, and they said that a guy came and he rang and he said, look, I'd really like to come and view the property. And the agent was so disappointed because the Central Coast at that stage had bad weather. It was rain. And the only time the guy could get up, he was looking like it was going to be in a rainy day. And that's never good for communicating value of a beachfront property. But the guy said, no, it's okay. I've watched the video 30 times. I'll take it. And so he'd watched this video that we created like 30 times, fell in love with it, and decided that he wanted it there. Why was that? There must have been some sort of emotional connection that is created through moving imagery and the sound and the emotion of the place. It can only be really communicated through that media and that form of content.
Yeah, so it's kind of tying everything in together, isn't it? It's not just what you see, it's what you hear as well. Yeah. And the other thing that is probably the bane of any video producer's experience is that music is so subjective. When we cross different generations, what is enjoyed or what creates energy or what is classy or any of those things is so subjective. So,
do us a little favor. And if you can have an example of something you like, that'll go a long way to helping us find something that works for you. And just know that we never mean to be offensive when we put something on there. We think, this is great. We send it off and they're just like, what is that music?
Is that
so that happens all the time. But music is very powerful. And our hope is that we can serve you and know that it's a tool that agents are going to be using to communicate the value they need to in order to make the transaction and deal that they need to. So we're very aware of that. But music is wonderful. Just add another thought as well.
Yep.
The power of an agent being in the video.
Oh, great.
There's a lot of, conversation about should they be in it, should they not be in it? What is the length that a video should be? I'll quickly address that one. The video length really comes down to what you'd like to do with it. 90 seconds allows you to put it on all platforms. So you're able to put it on Instagram and across all of the different platforms. But just understand that if someone loves the property, think about it when you love something, you want as much information about it as you can. Like you would watch a 10-minute video. If you were interested in it, you'd watch a 10-minute video because you want to see every nook and cranny. You want to just really get a sense of it. So there is no right length for what the property is. As an agent, you've seen many, 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 many videos. You've been in many videos. So you will get bored of what it is. But remember that our viewer, they're potentially buying a home that they want to live in, potentially for the rest of their life. So it's very important that we're giving them value through what we produce, whether that be a 90-second video that can be found across many platforms or a 90-second version of it, and then a 5-minute version. There is no right length for the video. But should an agent be in it? Well, one of the other things that movie makers do to inform people how they should respond to something is they use what's called a reaction shot. So quite often they'll have something happen, especially in comedies. That's why we have laugh tracks in the background. It's to inform you that we just made a joke, you should laugh. And our mirror neurons actually fire and we laugh along with the joke, even if it wasn't that great. So the power of an agent being in the video is that they will be able to help us know what the place feels like by their reaction. So when they're walking through a property and they're like, oh my goodness, as I walk into this place, it's light filled. The air is so fresh, blowing off the ocean, and the sense of style is everywhere. Immediately, I'm leaning in. I'm like, oh, this sounds and feels great, and I'm seeing the expression on the agent's face as they begin to tell me of how this property feels. Compare that to if we're just watching rooms and stuff like that. It's not much more glorified than really a slideshow or a video slideshow. So 2 advantages. One, you get to help your audience understand what it feels like to be on the property. The second thing is that we get more of a sense of who you are as an agent, your personality, your brand, the kind of experience that we're going to have when we're around you, your energy. Are you a high energy person? Are you a calm person? We get to begin to know you. And the more we begin to know you, especially across multiple videos, we begin to build trust. And so that is a very powerful thing that agents can consider when considering whether they want to jump in front of the camera or not.
So essentially you're saying help build your brand. Don't hold back. Just, don't be afraid of the video. Just get out there and get started.
Absolutely jump in front and have a go. And realize that you are bringing more value. You're absolutely bringing more value to your brand, but also to the viewer at home by how you respond to the property itself.
I love it. Josh, so many practical tips in there. Thank you so much for joining us. Love hearing from you, and we'll see each other again soon, no doubt.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lauren. The pleasure was all mine.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Impact and Influence. Click follow to get notified about future episodes. Leaving a review helps others find the podcast. And to learn more about our courses, our study tours, conferences, keynote topics, and our services, or how simply we might be able to help support you in taking you to places you never thought possible, please visit regrowthkyliewalsh.com.